Harris County in Texas has been in the news over the last 4 days. The county has recorded more than 100,000 votes every single day since early voting began. I'll be surprised if the numbers drop below 100,000 today. But is it really a big deal in a county where we are expecting more than 1.3 million people to vote? Yes and no. Yes, it's a big deal because we still have 16 days to the election. And at this rate, Harris County will end up well over 1.3 million votes this year. And the larger the county's vote, the greater its contribution to Texas results this year. This county alone could make or break Texas for the Democrats. No, it's not a big deal because voting records are not broken just by Harris County. It's actually happening in several Republican counties across the state. As of October 16th, 3.39 million Texans have voted, which is 20.05% of the registered Texas electorate. Harris County, despite the 500,000 plus votes, is only at 20.66%, about average. These 10 counties are the ones that are leading the Texas charge, and 8 of these counties were won by Ted Cruz and 2 were marginally won by Beto in 2018, and Trump won all the 10. These are Republican counties and they are voting at an alarming rate. Take the number 1 on the list, Galveston. 66,000 people have already voted, which is as much as the vote Ted Cruz received in this county in 2018. Another 4 days at this rate, this county will have more votes than it had in 2018. And the rate of voting is quite high in the other 9 counties as well. So, is it possible that Republicans are voting in record numbers? I sincerely doubt that. And number 1, whenever voter turnout goes through the roof, it's almost always bad news for the ruling party. There are exceptions to this, such as events that can move people like war, national emergency, or emotional issues that weigh heavily on the electorate and so on. And we have one emotional issue that's weighing heavily on the electorate, COVID. But that's actually bad news for the ruling party. Second, if voter turnout goes up by 10% to 20% in these counties, or even more, these additional votes must come from people who were registered in Texas in 2016 but did not vote, and from people who were registered after 2016. Out of this group, what will be the split between Democrats and Republicans? In Texas, 1.8 million people registered to vote after 2016, and 60% of them are people of color. Even the remaining 40% white voters are not going to vote for Trump. A portion, especially white women, are voting for Biden. Republican voters are not coming out in droves to keep Trump in the White House. Survey after survey has showed that Republican voters, a majority of them, are actually waiting to vote on November 3rd. And that trend, Republicans waiting to vote trend, is visible throughout the country. In Florida, Republican voters are used to voting in mail, but they are still running way behind in voting, where Democrats are leading by a wide margin. So the odds remain extremely low that these counties are seeing a Republican voter surge. I agree that a decent portion of the early votes in these counties will be from Republican voters, but I do think Democrats are leading. If it follows the national trend of 2-1 early voting advantage for Democrats, and if the 10 counties breach their 2016 numbers in the next 10 days, the odds of Democrats flipping all the 10 counties becomes extremely high. Now add Harris, Dulles, Tarrant, Bexar, and Travis counties, Democratic counties. On top of this, Texas will move into a position to flip on the election day. In these 15 counties, not a single one Ted Cruz was able to do better than Trump. On average, these 15 counties moved 1.76% away from Republicans in 2 years. And please do remember, Donald Trump had won Texas with the worst margin in history for a Republican. Together, the 15 counties have 9.7 million registered voters. Only 4.9 million voted in 2018. As of today, we are already at 42% of that number. Let us keep a close eye on these 15 counties. If these counties breach 2016 numbers a week before November 3rd, I firmly believe that Texas will flip. And my reasoning is simple. Nationally, Democrats have a strong early voting advantage, 2-1 in most cases. The speed of early voting in Texas has not come down. Texas is on course to breach well above 2016 numbers. So where are the extra voters going to come from? The additional voters skew favorably for Democrats. The election in Texas and the decision on US presidency might as well be over here in the next 10 days. We will know Texas results on the election day. So come back to this video and leave a comment if Texas flips on the election night. We can have a virtual drink. Now I just have to sit and watch this 15 counties cross 4.9 million votes. The earlier it happens, the better. Thanks for watching. If you like, please subscribe.